Hi, so here we have the new U200 smart lock from Aqara. It is the Kickstarter version. Here is the front of the box and one side of the box. Here's the back of the box and the other side of the box. So what I'll do is I will get it out and I will explain all of the different components. Right, so now that we've unboxed it, I'm going to go through what each piece is. So here you have the lock itself, covered with the faceplate. On the back of here, this comes out and this part screws into over your existing lock, and then this bit will slide on, and in the front of here you've got 1, 2 and 3 screws, and it slides on and you can screw it in there, and that's how it secures. And your battery with the terminal and the terminal there slides in and it does click into place. Here is your faceplate, and your faceplate goes on here and it just clicks in nicely. It does have metal gears inside, which is quite good. Here you have your keypad, and there's a bit at the bottom so that you can release. There we are. And here you have a place for 4 AAA batteries, which are included. You get the 4 AAA batteries there, or as you can see at the top here, you can wire it in with an adapter. What I tend to do as well is when I am wiring it in, I leave this back plate off so that any excess wire can go inside here. You also get some adapters. You get 5 of them in the box for various different types of adapter, and if I turn it round, that's the other side. So not everybody will need them. So you get a charging lead. This is primarily used for this battery. As you can see, it's USB-C. It does last quite a long time. And what this little pouch is for here is so that you can hang this over your door handle with a battery pack inside, which means that you don't have to take that out. You know, you can keep the battery inside. You get a little fixing kit for securing your keypad to the wall. It does incidentally come with a 3M sticky pad at the back, so you can peel this off and just stick it if you don't want to screw it in anywhere. A little leaflet that explains that this area is the NFC. So the NFC detection area is this part here. It also has Fingerprint as well, and you can use it with Apple HomeKey. You get these screws here. You get 4. I know there's only 3 to screw it in, but you do get an extra screw. And you also get another 4 screws here. Now this bit here is a plate that can be replaced, so you get 2 different types of plate, and you unscrew it at the back here with 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you've got your little pre-drilled holes there. But that plate can go in the place of that plate there. 3M sticky pad, so if you just want to stick the back plate, it does fit nicely there, as you can see. These, if you need to add a bit of padding to get a little bit of a gap, but you get a thick, a thin and a medium one. And you also get your instruction booklet. Basically a quick start guide on how to get going, and on the back of it you do have a matter code, and you have the Aqara code on the back of it as well. That is what you get inside the box that comes. Incidentally, on the back of here, this is how it's retrofit. This part here has a spring that pushes in and your key can go in there. And these adapters also fit nicely. If I do that, you can fit the adapters in there as well. And then if I turn the front of it, hopefully you can see that on camera that it's rotating. So there we go. What I'll do is we'll get to the setup and I will show you how it works. Hi there. So here we have the keypad. And as you can see, what I've done is I have screwed it to the wall, and it is now wired in. As you can see, I've put the wire through the pre-built part there, and I've put one to the positive and one to the negative, and as I was saying before, that can then sit in there. So what you do is you place that in the relevant part and press down and listen for the click, and then that's on. So what I will say is, if you take the keypad off, it does make a siren.
Please verify the administrator fingerprint or password.
If you don't verify, and there we go. So it does make quite a loud noise if somebody tries to detach it. So what we'll do is we will now move on to the door lock itself. So here we have the door lock installed. Now what I've done is the base plate, I have screwed a screw either side of here. Obviously we're in the UK and this is a composite door. So I've actually screwed this into the door beside the handle. And I've also put a screw into the actual aluminium at the bottom there, and it's secure. The battery is now in place, and you affix it by putting them 3 black screws, one there, and one at the bottom here. So what I will do now is I shall put this base plate back on. And there we go. Now at the moment it's locked. So if I go like that, it unlocks, and if I close it and wait a couple of seconds, then it automatically locks. Now what I've done to make it a little bit easier is up at the top of the door here, I have one of the matter door and window sensors from Aqara, and I've set up the automation in HomeKit, so I'll show you what that automation looks like on screen. But that is what controls the automatic locking of the door. So HomeKey, and there we go, the door unlocks. So I'll lock it like that just so it locks quicker. You can lock it there, unlock it with your fingerprint. You can also unlock it with HomeKey on your phone, that's no problem, and you can also unlock it with a code. One of the things that you can do is called a quiet unlock. So if you press the tick first and then either use thumbprint or HomeKey, if you listen to the different sound of it, then it slowly unlocks the door. So what I'll do now is, if I lock it again, if I press the tick first and then there we go, it unlocks slowly. But you can also, if you close that and tick and lock, then it will also lock slowly and more quietly as well. Just for comparison, if I just unlock it normally, then it sounds a little bit louder. So that's just a little bit of a extra there for you. Right then, so what we're going to do is we're going to add this in the Aqara app, and I'm also going to add it into HomeKit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press any button on the keypad. There we go, so we scan the setup code, so we're going to scan that on the lock itself, and I'm going to use the Aqara one. So we'll go to add accessory, and we're going to allow that, and as you can see it's brought the it's brought it up there. So we're going to scan that up, that top code. Blimey, the camera's zoomed in quite a bit. There we go. So we'll scan this code here. On the UK door lock, I'm going to make sure that them tongues are out. So we're going to name it front door lock. What I would say as well, to make it easier, if you name it, see I've done front door lock with capital F, D and L. If you name it exactly the same when you put it into Apple Home, it just makes things a little bit easier. So I'm going to place this as part of the parcel room and click done. So we're loading. So there's no user added at the moment, so we're going to add a user. So we're going to go to the keypad out here and I'm going to click add user and press the tick here because it's asking.
Please use app to add user.
So I'm going to put a passcode in to start with. It asks you to do that twice.
Added successfully.
So I've added the passcode, which is a set of 6 to 8 numbers. So I'm going to add my fingerprint.
Capturing new fingerprint. Continue capturing. Continue capture. Continue capture. Continue capture. Continue capturing. Continue capturing. Added successfully.
There we go.
Owner added successfully.
So added successfully. Now you can choose a couple of different things here. So we've got EU or US deadbolt lock. Now I'm going to choose EU, but I'm going to do it slightly different to the instructions because I've got a UK multi-point lock. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. I'm going to close the door and lift the handle. And I'm going to click OK on here. Now the door is closed, and in the UK we want to make sure that this handle is up, so we'll click start. There we go. So need to now open the door wide enough to go out, so we'll open that. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that is lifted up, and then I'm going to click start. Now it says confirm that the bolt is fully extended. So on the UK door it means that that handle won't go down, so I'll click yes. And then the next part, it says leave the door ajar until it touches, so this is touching here, and then I'm going to click next again, and it says as the bolt retracted. So in the UK, can I pull that down? Which I can, so I'm going to say yes, and then that is completed. So you can long press to lock it, and you can long press to unlock. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the settings. So you've got alert, failed attempt lockout, auto turn lock, and lock configuration. So I'm going to go on to the auto turn lock and turn that on. So what that does is it allows you to go like that, and it will lock, and go like that, and it will unlock, as you can see. Some of the extra features that are on the lock, we also have all of these features here. So we've got settings for voice and sound, door status sensing, auto lock, volume settings, fail attempt lockout. We've got night latch mode, auto turn lock, lock configuration. You've got the working mode, you have a do not disturb mode, passage mode, calibration, and as you can see there is the settings for matter. You can connect it to the M3 hub, which I have done, and you've also got firmware at the bottom. So just to show you a couple of bits that you can do. So if you click on voice and sound, I will need to activate the keypad, so I'll do that now. And there we go. So in voice and sound you have alert volume, so you've got different settings for high, medium, low or muted. You have an alarm volume, so if the door is unlocked you can have an alert there. You can choose on the alarm delay, so you've got various different settings there. You've also got door ajar alert, so if the door is ajar it can notify you, and it can notify you after a certain delay, so 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 3 minutes, 3 seconds, etc. And you also have voice settings, so for your voice settings I've got it set on high, but you can go
completed,
medium there, and you can see
completed,
There we go. So you've got different volume settings there. You have the door status sensing, which is there, and you can turn this on and off, and you can enable that from there as well. So this is just showing you various different settings that you get with the lock. You have the auto lock section there. Now, because I'm using the Matter door and window sensor, I'm not using this at the moment, but you can do this, and it uses the gyroscope within the lock to sense whether the door is open or closed. You also have volume settings here, so it tells you how it works. You've got the volume settings. Now this is for when the door is locking and unlocking. So previously I showed you can do the quiet lock and unlock. You can also set it in here. So if you go there, you can choose quiet, standard or fast. I've got it on fast just because the sound doesn't really bother me, and you can also have it on mute. So that's them settings there. Now, Aqara are continually adding to these settings, and they are continually improving them. So you've got fail attempt lockout settings here. So basically, if somebody tries to get into the house and uses the wrong code for a certain amount of time, you can choose the time that the lock is actually locked out and they won't be able to attempt it. So you can go from 1 minute to 30 minutes basically, and you can choose that. That's just your personal preference. You have your night latch mode, so there you can read what it does there, and you can choose whether to have that on or off. So if we go back, you have the auto turn lock, which is the feature that I showed you, where you manually lock and unlock by rotating the little part on the lock itself. Then you also have the lock configuration, so you can reconfigure the lock, and it does have the pull spring feature as well if you have a pull spring door. I don't, so I obviously haven't got it set up. Bear with me a second if I go back. So then we can go down here. We have the working mode there. So you have a standard or Bluetooth mode. I've got it on there. You can have remote lock verification. So again, lots of different settings here. Now, passage mode, this would be useful. So say you're having a party and there's going to be people coming in and out for a various period of time, then you can set it so that it basically stays open and it doesn't lock with either the auto lock function or by using the sensor that I'm using. So that is very useful for things like parties. You can calibrate the door lock. You can do a manual or an automatic calibration if it does need recalibrating. What I've found is once I've set it up and it's all up and running, I don't have to do the recalibration because it does work quite well. You have Matter there, so you can, as you can see, connected it to Apple Home, and you can also bring up the Matter pairing code as well. I'm not going to bring that up because I don't want everybody having the Matter code for my device. It is configured, as you can see, with the Matter hub. That is connected to the M3 hub, which gives it extra functionality. So there are a load of different settings there for the lock. Obviously you can click at the top there and it gives you some various information. So that's just an aside, and a few more settings so that you can see the capabilities of the lock. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set it up in HomeKit. So if I go to the Home app, I'm going to go to Plus and add accessory, and then I'm going to scan the HomeKit code. The Matter code I'm going to scan. And we're going to click Add to Home. And I'm going to click the Set button here once. And as you can see, it goes to Setting Up, Adding to Home. So again, I put this in the parcel room. So we'll click continue. I'll get rid of that and I'm going to put, and we've got capital F, capital D, capital L. So we'll click enter and continue. And then I want to use Apple HomeKey. So we're going to continue and continue again. And then we're going to click continue because I've got my own automations that I'm going to set up, and we're going to click done. So now when I go to the parcel room and go on here, that will now lock the door and that will unlock the door. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the settings and I'm going to go to automations. I'm going to add an automation and when a sensor detects something. So what I have on the top of that door there is a Matter door and window sensor. So I'm going to find that here and it will be in the, there we go. So front door sensor, next. And I'm going to say when it closes at any time of day and regardless of the people that are there, I'm going to have that lock the door and click done and then click out of there. So if I open this door now and then close it, there we go, it locks the door. On the UK doors, just be careful to make sure that you lift the handle as soon as it closes the door. So what I'm going to do is put this back on here. There we are. So you can also ask Siri. So if I go unlock the front door.
Okay, the front door lock is unlocked.
There we go. So if we come out here as well, I'm going to show you HomeKey. If you toggle the switch on for HomeKey and express mode, what you can do is you can walk up and unlock it with HomeKey. So I'll do that once again. If I close, it automatically locks because of that sensor. So I'll go up again. And there we go. So that is HomeKey in action. So that is the Aqara U200 smart lock set up in both the Aqara app and the Home app, and it uses HomeKey with express mode.